Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Prospect Corner here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host, Matthew Zator, and as always, joined by Peter Baracchini and Dayton Reimer. We've been off for a couple weeks, but we always have to get together to talk about the NHL Central Scouting Players to Watch list. Their first one released here. They have three, of course, updated mid-season, and then the final rankings. But these are the first preliminary look at these players. So, yeah, we'll take a look at that. Peter, how's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, I know it's been a while since we've actually done this, but I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if we had to give a shout out to the Toronto Blue Jays. It's getting wild right now. World Series fever. I know we're supposed to be talking about hockey, but it's hard not to talk about what's going on right now. So big shout out to the Jays. World Series, here we come. Let's go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's only time I watch baseball. It's the playoffs, so. It's double good when the Blue Jays are in it too. Dayton, how's it going?
Also pretty good. Yeah. When was stumbling over my words here because it hasn't happened in decades for the Blue Jays to come back.
32 years. 32 years.
I was around. Wasn't remembering much at the time, but I was there.
Yeah, I was 8 years old, so I don't really remember. I remember mostly of the last Blue Jays playoff run with Bautista and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But but that's baseball. We're talking hockey here. But yeah, it's always great to it's been a good time for sure. All right, well, let's jump in to that NHL Central Scouting list and start, of course, with the A list here, and these are first round picks, and I mean there's a lot of great talent. We've talked about a few of these guys already. Of course, Nathan McKenna, Gavin McKenna. I had Nathan McKinnon on my mind there for a sec. Gavin McKenna is of course on this list for sure. Peter, I'll start with you. Who are you eyeing on this A list here?
That's a really good question. Who to eye on this list? I mean, obviously Gavin McKenna. I know there's already a lot of talk about how he hasn't popped off so much in the collegiate level, but let's face the facts. Gavin McKenna is an absolute dynamic playmaker. He will generate assists, but he has a decent shot too. And let's not forget the fact that he's already a point per game player in the NCAA. So as a 17-year-old, that is still very impressive regardless. I know he's 6 games into his career. It's a feeling out process. It's a big gap between the WHL and the NCAA. And I don't think he has looked out of place. Yeah, some hiccups here and there, but I think that's normal growth for a player like him, and especially a winger too. I know we've talked about players like Adam Fantilli, Jack Eichel, Macklin Celebrini. Those were all centers, and they were absolutely dynamic. He's more of a winger, and he's being more utilized in that situation. So it's interesting to see how he's able to play with that pace that he's so known for and elevate it at this level because, he has to adapt. I mean, that's the big thing right now. But I don't buy not so much negativity, but the criticism towards his game. I still think he's the top player in this draft right now. But if we're going off of other names to watch right now, I mean, you could pick anyone off this list. For me, I think Ethan Belchez is not slowly, but I think he's already improved his draft stock quite a bit. I think he did it at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. Slow start, but he's found his footing. He has 10 goals, 16 assists, or 16 points in 13 games so far. With the Windsor Spitfires, obviously this team is very, very deep with the amount of talent that they have. And he has been extremely productive early on. Only 3 games without a point. I believe he was also added to that CHL roster where they do have that little prospect showcase against the U18s for the National Development Program. So he's going to continue to be one of those players that you're going to keep an eye on all season long because of that power forward mindset. And I know there's a little bit of a difference in similarities between him and Ryan Rubrick in that power forward game, but Ethan Belchetz is an absolute monster and an animal on the ice because of that physicality, the presence, the way he's able to bully his way to the middle of the ice. He can do it all, whether he has open ice or he's in front of the net. He is a nightmare to contain, and I think teams are going to love that very, very much, and I think that's going to be a reason why he could be taken high this year. So he's one guy to watch for me right now, as maybe not necessarily a massive, competitor to push Gavin McKenna, but I think he's slowly moving up so he could be in the stratosphere like a Keaton Verhoff or a Ivar Stenberg as well.
Yeah, he's a 6'5", 228. That's a pretty big guy. Right? So, he's off to a great start with the Spitfires for sure. Dayton, what about you on this group of A-listers here?
I think there's a bunch of guys we expected to be there. Of course, I'm always going to check up on the WHL kids, and Daxon Rudolph is going to be a top pick. He is a fantastically reliable defenseman who has the ability to activate into the offensive zone, but doesn't take a huge amount of risks. He's like, I know the term safe is often used as like, yeah, he'll get you there. But this guy's safe in that, like, you can trust him on the top line, top pairing, but he'll also get you some pretty big points. He's a very dynamic defenseman, but just not, he's smart about it. He's not risky. But I think the top guy for me to watch right now is JP Hurlburt. This kid has been on fire. He leads the WHL in points with 11 goals and 24 points in 11 games with the Kamloops Blazers. He's on pace to hit almost 150 points this season. Excuse me. He's almost on pace to hit 150 points this season. Almost 70 goals. In the WHL, you haven't really seen that since like Bedard. These are ridiculous totals. And I wrote in the players to watch for the WHL a few weeks ago now that he wasn't really on a lot of radars heading into this draft season. Like, yes, we knew about Carson Carrolls. Yes, we knew about Mathis Preston, Ryan Lynn, Daxon Rudolph. Those guys were going to be big names. Nobody was keeping track of JP Hurlburt, at least not that I knew of. He is now an A-rated prospect, so definitely one to keep watch on because he could be a massive riser this season.
Yeah, he's off to a heck of a start. I mean, 24 points already, and we're not even a quarter way through the season yet, and he's got quite a few points already. So, if we can keep that going, I'm definitely going to be rising up. Who knows where could end up in the end here.
One other interesting player to keep an eye on is Oscar Hemming too. He is rated as an A prospect, and rightfully so, because he did have a really strong showing in the Helenka Gretzky, but he was supposed to join the Kitchener Rangers of the OHL, but there's now a little bit of a contract dispute with, I believe, with his Finnish teams and the rights and everything like that. So he is yet to play a game this year. I wonder, I know it's too early to put anything in the draft stock right now, but I really enjoyed his game. I thought he was really dynamic and pushed the pace of play at that tournament, but it's going to be really tough for him to try and get any games this early on right now. He's an A prospect right now, but I don't know for sure if that's really going to impede or lower his stock further down the line. So that's one name to keep an eye on because the skill level and the impact is definitely there.
Yeah, it's tough that he hasn't played any games yet, right? So that could impact something. I don't know. Whenever there's limited viewings, it can eventually become something, but we'll see how he goes there. All right, the B list. This is second and third round candidates here. Dayton, I'll start with you for the B list. Who are you looking at here?
We'll jump to the WHL again because that's what I do. You got to watch Cooper Williams. He has scored some very impressive goals recently. Saskatoon Blades center. And one of those goals was a between the legs right in front of the goalie snipe, right? He just beat him clean. It was fantastic. That was just a couple of days ago here. He was a big part of them beating the first place Edmonton Oil Kings, or at least they were first place. I haven't checked the standings yet, but that could have changed because the Blades have been pretty hot. And Cooper Williams, with his line, has been a major part of them being as good as they are. Definitely want to keep watch on. He hasn't maybe produced as high as some might expect and some others in this list, but definitely one to keep an eye on. And also, I'll throw a goalie in here. I think keeping an eye on František Politin is going to be a good bet. I would bank on him being the top-rated goalie coming into the draft here. Maybe not a first-rounder, but I'd expect him to be the first one off the board, at least at this point. He's just a big, reliable goalie who hasn't had a lot of bad games from what I've seen. He's currently playing in Finland. Was drafted by the I believe Kamloops Blazers in the CHL expansion draft, or import draft, not expansion. So he decided to stick in Finland, play pro. He's playing in the top league right now.
Yeah.
I think that's doing him okay.
Yeah, for sure. The goalie class is not the strongest. It doesn't seem like right now, but very early. I mean, we might start seeing some more guys stand out, but he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Finland always produces really good goaltenders, it seems. So we might see him come off the board pretty early. Peter, what about you for the B list here?
There are quite a lot of names here. I mean, I'm a big fan of Nicholas Arab Olsen. I think he probably should have been an A-rated prospect just because of the size and goal-scoring power alone. He has 8 goals and 13 points with Orebro of the U20 Nacional. And then, he has 4 games of SHL experience, but probably didn't get a whole lot of ice time and minutes, got sent back down, and now he's being productive again. Keep an eye on him. A big surprise for me is Viggo Bjork being a B-rated prospect. That to me is a big surprise early on. There's still plenty of time for him to improve his draft stock, but I don't think he's been all that bad. Believe he has started off in the senior level, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so he had, pretty decent results, 4 points in 11 games. Then again, he may be further down the depth chart compared to someone like a Ivar Stenberg, but he has been sent back down, and he's just tearing up the competition right now. So he could dominate his age group. It's just taking that next step that's going to be the big thing for him. He's further down that lineup. I don't think that should be a big issue for him. I know he is on the smaller side of 5'10", 172, but man, he's just absolutely skilled, and it shows. Another pleasant surprise was Igor Barabanov. I kind of like, JP Hurlbert within the OHL right now, because I'm mainly watching Nikita Klepov on the Saginaw Spirit, and I see Barabanov just pop off out of nowhere. Yeah. And, 15 points, 11 games, that's a really good way to make yourself known early on right now. So I think a B rating is a nice safe bet for him right now. Beckham Edwards, I may have a little bit higher than a B, but I do like that power forward size two-way game that he possesses. It's very evident. It's there. And I try to go through this whole entire list quickly because there are a lot of names that I really, really like. I think there's maybe one more. Vilho van Hatalo, right wing, 6'4", 194. Already off, again, kind of like a goal scorer's mindset with that power forward game. Great size, great shot. Not necessarily comparing him to Kasper Halttunen, but I get those remnants of that size and goal scoring prowess that he possesses. So that's one name to keep an eye on as an international skater within this group here.
Yeah, Klepov and Barabanov, they're sure carrying the spirit right now. I mean, especially for a team that lost Misa and Perek from their last season's team. They got 2 guys that are looking pretty good so far, and that might end up getting it first rounders. I don't know about Barabanov. Again, rated as a second rounder, but he might push his way into the first round. But that's 2 guys that, the spirit, losing 2 of your highest producing players. They got 2 guys that are trying to fill that void, doing a pretty good job right now. All right, moving down the list to the C and W, and these are of course, the later round picks, 4th, 5th round, 6th and 7th. The W's the 6th and 7th. So I'll start with you, Peter. What are you looking at for these later round guys?
I'm really kind of surprised that Laver Gashalov is as low as he is. I think he could have been at least a B prospect, considering how, I mean, the numbers that he's putting up, again, we're talking about like the numbers that JB Hurlbert's putting up. Laver Gashalov is just destroying his age group in the MHL. He's already at 24 points in 13 games, on pace for 95 in 51 in the MHL. I mean, again, these are like video game numbers for these two prospects right now in their respective leagues. So I feel like he's got a lot more upside than where he's being ranked right now. Again, 6'2", 170, great two-way presence, but he's very advantageous of his ability to intercept plays, get into the middle of things. He's not just a one-trick pony. This is a guy that's making his presence felt, and he's doing it all with and without the puck. 5 goals and 19 points. Like, he is a massive puck distributor. But I feel like that offensive game and vision that he possesses is a little bit more worthy of being more than just a C prospect right now. So I had him within my early top 32 based on the early start that he had. Not slowing down at this point. We'll see what happens, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing from him right now.
Yeah, I mean, the preliminary watch list, there's so many guys that it's like we're not sure where they're actually going to end up. But yeah, it's interesting to see him in this later round when he's been ranked, higher up. Like you say, he's in your top 32. That's a first round pick, and he's down in the 3rd and beyond. So we'll see where he ends up. Dayton, what about you? Lots of players in here. So, I mean, we'll obviously talk about more of them as time goes on, but who do you have initially looking at here?
Yeah, it's like an understatement that it's a lot of players. Few guys that stood out to me. I'll start with the hometown, Saskatoon, Zach Olson. Keep this guy on your radar. He is a developing power forward. He has just like the best aspects of snarl and intensity. And he also knows how to score and how to move the puck. He's very skilled. I've been talking about this kid since last year when he was 16. He is showing a lot of really good skills, and he's not afraid to mix it up when he needs to. He'll get in someone's face and, put them in their place if they're trying to mess with his teammates. He's very passionate. He doesn't have a ton of points right now. I can pull it up here right away. If it lets me. It's not loading. Okay. Yeah, he's not scoring a ton of points right now, but he makes a lot of efforts away from the puck. He's very skilled. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns into a hidden gem in the future. Another WHLer to keep an eye on, Noah Kosick. He is with the Swift Current Broncos. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of skill. I believe he's still leading their team in points right now. Yeah, he was a high WHL pick and then was looking at going to NCAA before the agreement was reached. He eventually decided to come to the Calgary Hitmen. There was a lot of kind of press about it. He didn't have a great season. And so he got traded to the Broncos for maybe a late round pick. Like, it wasn't much at all. And he is thriving in Swift Current. He looks really good. A teammate of his that also looked really good. This is a W-rated prospect, Zach Pantelakis. Lots of speed. We'll see kind of how he develops, but his skating and his speed is there. Noah Ta'amu, he's a big defensive defenseman. I think there's some interesting skill there. He's a C-rated. I'm not seeing a lot of offensive skill. I think the puck movement still needs some work, but, he moves well. He defends well. He's usually in the right place. Who else? One more. Calgary Hitman, Hunter Ora. I noticed him in the playoffs last year because he was playing with Carter Yakimchuk on the top pairing. As a rookie, he's really good. I was impressed with kind of how reliable and how he was able to kind of play the offensive defenseman alongside Yakimchuk, which is impressive already. It seemed to be a really good pair. So someone to watch. He's a W-rated prospect as well.
All right. Yeah, lots of guys. I mean, like I say, this is the initial thing. We'll be talking about many of these guys as the season goes on, as we get closer to the draft, as we always do. So yeah, keep an eye on these guys for sure. We'll be talking about them much more as time goes on here. All right. Well, speaking of other names, let's talk about prospects of the week. Lots of top performers already early on. We talked already about a couple guys in the Saginaw Spirit that are ripping it up. Hurlberg, he's been on fire, but there's lots of other guys. So, Peter, I'll start with you for prospect of the week. Who's your one for this week?
Yeah, that's off to a very hot start himself, and that's Adam Benak. With 19 points in 8 games for the Brantford Bulldogs, and they are just an absolute unit right now. I mean, we talk about how they have the depth, they have great pieces in place. Benak transferring from the USHL to play in the OHL has been a really big step for him. There is a possibility that he could have been a second, but he kept falling down, and the Minnesota Wild may have pounced on a possible late or mid-round gem because of his playmaking abilities. Yes, he's small, but even times last year, that size factor did affect him, but also it didn't too because of his ability to be elusive and break free from, a lot of situations, a lot of pressure situations, and easily adapt and find the middle of the ice. I think that he is off to, it is evident that he's off to a really hot start right now. I believe there's only one game just one game where he hasn't had a point. And the last 3 games that he has played, 4-assist game against the Ottawa 67s, 3-point game against the Brampton Steelheads, and then another 3-assist game against the Brampton Steelheads. So back-to-back there where he had 6 points against one team. So very impressive showing early on for him. And yeah, he's going to be my prospect of the week.
I like Benak. Everyone knows this. I think I can't remember. I don't know if I wrote his prospect profile, but I might have. It's an undersized guy. So, I'm glad he's off to a great start for sure. All right. Dayton, what about you for prospect of the week?
Yeah. There's 2 guys I want to mention just because I'll be quick. I think they're pretty well known. First is Nick Lardis. He is in his rookie season in the AHL, playing with the Rockford Ice Hogs. And I think there might have been a perception that, at least with me, when a 20-year-old breaks out in the CHL, you wonder how that's going to translate, right? 20-year-olds are given the ice time. They are put on the top lines. They are given the most opportunities. And I think you often see guys who have a really big 20-year-old season struggle when they turn pro. Because it's not easy anymore. They are, up against people their own skill instead of playing against a lot of younger kids. Lardis had an incredible season with the Brantford Bulldogs last season. 71 goals, 117 points. That's crazy numbers. 11 goals in the playoffs in just 7 games. Now he's in the AHL, and he has 2 goals and 8 points in 5 games. So he is doing just fine. He was a 3rd-round pick back in 2023. He's a little undersized at 5'11", but it looks like he is adapting to the pro game very well and should be on the Blackhawks roster, looks like sooner rather than later. And the last guy I'll mention is a rookie in the NHL who has not gone the game without a point yet. And that is Matthew Schaefer.
Yeah.
Every single game, he has got a point. There was questions whether he'd be ready, right? He missed almost all of last season with an injury. And there was even questions whether he would, make it into camp. Is he ready for the pro? Will he go back to junior? Turns out he's fine. He is making the New York Islanders a better team at 18 years old. He's fantastic. We all knew that his character was above pretty much anyone else. Just a great kid to cheer for. And he has 1 goal, 4 points or 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points in 5 games.
Yeah.
Playing also a couple of times, 26 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be okay.
Yeah. They're talking about that, they trade Noah Dobson. They're like, don't have a number one defenseman. Yes, they do.
It was that quick.
Yeah, they do. They still have a number one defenseman. Yeah, he looks great. And I'll stick with the rookies. Emmett Finney on the Detroit Red Wings. Just scored his first NHL goal. He's got 5 points in, I believe it's 5 in 6 games, 5 and 7 or something like that. And he's playing on the top line with Dylan Larkin. So that's been pretty well in his first full season in the NHL. He did play in the Grand Rapids at the end of last season. But it looks like he's going to stick. And I'll add Axel Sandin-Pellikka in there for the Red Wings as well. He's on the second pairing and playing close to 20 minutes a night and looks pretty good. Just got his first NHL goal last week as well. So a couple Red Wings prospects, but starting to become not prospects. By the time we talk, maybe mid-season, they probably won't be anymore. So they're, 2 guys that I think Red Wings fans were really waiting for, especially Sandin-Pellikka. Finney's maybe a bit more of a surprise of how he's come in so quickly, but doing well to start both their seasons in the NHL. All right. Well, that's another episode. We'll try to get more regular again with our episodes here as the season goes on. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Dayton, for coming on as always and talking prospects. And we'll get together again soon and talk more. But until our next one, we'll see you next time.